Welcome back to Nickelodeon's Comic Corner Classic / Non-Classics. This is episode number 1636 and Doubleshot 1530. Now, I have pretty much the start of two series of trades. Well, this one, I've technically one trade for this series already. It was actually the fifth volume for the series. This is done by, this runs original writer, Ed Brubaker. And you're thinking, what book are you talking about? Catwoman! Yep, this is Volume 1, Trail of the Catwoman. This collects Selena's Big Score, which I'll get to the whole thing of this one. The backup feature from Detective Comics issues 759 to 760, I think it was 62, wasn't it? It was, 62. And the first 9 issues of Catwoman Volume 3. Now, here's a fun fact about Selena's Big Score prior to this trade paperback coming out. This was a one-shot graphic novel done by the late Darwin Cook. And here's something, though. Prior to this trade coming out, it was never put in trade paperback before. Nope, this book is the first one. And though the issues of Catwoman are been collected in issue 4, yes they have. This is a new printing of it. Yes, this came out just a few years ago. Let's see. Yeah, this book is mostly, in a way, a combination of the original trade paperback from the old edition, which contained the first 4 issues, plus Detective Comics Symphony 62, plus most of Volume 2. Yes, most of Volume 2. Yeah, Volume 2 contained issue 10. This book does not have issue 10. So basically, it's a combination of mostly about 2 different trade paperbacks. Yep, that's simply what just is. It's basically Dark on the Street and Quick Little Town. Up until the last issue, plus the Catwoman Secret Files Orders, which they did collect that, and another trade paperback, which I'll get to that one eventually. Yep. Now, Selena's Big Score, like I said, written drawn by the late Darwin Cook. Yes. This whole book is... Now, here's a little fun fact about this book, aside from the fact this book was never collected before. This also was Selena's first time she appeared in a comic book since the end of her previous volume for her series, issue 94, released in 2002. This was released in Extras in 2001. This book was released in 2002. Mostly posed about her stealing stuff, because that's what holding a big score is. And she works also with Slim Brady. And you're thinking, who the heck is Slim Brady? He was a detective from Detective Comics back in the 40s. Yes, his son does appear in this book. Yes. Let me see if I can look him up on here. Okay, here we go. He first appeared back in the very first issue of the Detective Comics. Yes, he did. You're thinking, wow, that's interesting. Yep. And he's also a parent and a grandfather. Yep. Yeah, his son basically briefly appeared in this book. And he got involved with Selena Kyle. Yeah, there was also this thing in this book in here, and it's sort of a lot of these issues that Slim Brady frequently flirts with Selena Kyle. Despite the fact he's older than she is by about 20 years, 20, 30 years. So, Batman, he's working with this other guy who appears in this one-shot book. And this was his only appearance. Yeah, the guy himself who appears in this book, his name is Stark. Mm-hmm. He appears just in this book, and he seems like his older guy. He looks like an actor. Mm-hmm. And aside from this book, he did appear in an issue of So Low, also done by the late Darwin Cook. Mm-hmm. Let's see if we can find him here. Yeah, he appears in like one other book, and that's it for the character. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mostly put this guy reminds me of there's an old actor. I don't think he's alive anymore. He reminds me of him. Yeah, Selena had a brief relationship with him in the one shot, and then once he died, and of course she went back to Gotham, and then you had the Trail of Catwoman feature, which is the story for Slim Brady, which the whole point of this four-parter was basically a backdoor pilot to this ongoing series, which Brubaker did right. Darwin Cook was the original artist of the book, and then he switched with issue 5. The opening issue sees Catwoman debut her brand new outfit. Yes, this outfit right here. Which a lot of people coin this the Emma Peel attire because it's inspired from the British TV show The Avengers. And here's a little fun fact for you about this particular suit. She kept the suit, despite the reboot 10 years ago. She managed to wear this suit for 15 years. The only change they made to his costume was the goggles. That was it. Just the goggles. That was the only thing changed. It's an all-black suit with a zipper in front. Yeah, and she maintained this attire up until her most recent run, where they changed it up a bit, where they still have the zipper in front. They kept that part of her costume. Her mask is still the same, except it's mostly loosely inspired by the Michelle Pfeiffer version from The Batman Returns. That's most of that one is. And in the opening 4 issues of this book, we have the return of Holly Robinson, who actually died back in when she actually first appeared in. Oh, I think it was a feature for Action Comics. No, it was actually Batman Year 1. But yeah, she was rumored to be dead at the end of the storyline Tin Roof Club. Yes, it was a Catwoman story from Action Comics back in the late 80s. Yeah, she was rumored to actually have died. And then she pops up in this book where she's alive and well. As far as I can tell, there has just been no real explained reason for this at all. Not really, no. Yeah, she actually dies after in issue 613. So, and then of course, doing a little research now. Apparently, the reason why she was going to come back because of 0 Hour. Of course it does. Yep, and aside from the fact that in issue 1, we do have a brief appearance of some nudity in this book. In issue 1, yes. What nudity is that? So, Lan Kyle's butt. I'm not kidding about that. You briefly see her rear end. And, well, of course, also in the very next set of issues, in the second story arc, we set up her long-running rivalry with Black Mask. That actually would end in issue 50, though the Giovanni Valentine, when Giovanni Valentine wrote the book in when she had her brief run, she revived that rivalry briefly, and then it was never brought up again. Yep. So, I gotta say, great start to the series. I give this book a 10 out of 10. It's an excellent book. Brubaker does a great job with this book. If you're curious, though, like Darwin Cook himself stays on for the first 4 issues. And then he leaves. Yep, he leaves. He gets replaced by Cameron Stewart and Mike Aldred. Well, Cameron Stewart becomes the main artist of the book. Yeah, Cameron Stewart, but like, wait, Cameron Stewart? Wasn't that the person behind Gotham Academy? Yes. Yep. Also the same person behind that run that succeeded Gail Simon's one for Batgirl. A run that has got mixed reception since it came out. Alright, next up is a book that, now, those issues came out in 2003. These came out in, I think this was like 2011, I think it was. We have, put that over there, we have Ultimate Comics, the Ultimates, and this collects the first 6 issues of this 30-issue run. Yes, 30 issues. This was the first time ever that the Ultimates from the Ultimate Universe had an ongoing series. They had a series of 3 limited series. Well, they popped up. They had several limited series. You have Ultimates 1, 2, and 3, Ultimate Power, Ultimate 6, Ultimate War. And I think that was it. Yeah, that was mostly it. The other last three I mentioned, they were crossover books. Ultimate Power was simply a cross between the Ultimate Universe and the Supreme Power Universe. Ultimate 6, that was the crossover between them and Spider-Man. And Ultimate War, that was a cross between them and the X-Men. This is simply put after the events of Death to Peter Parker, where this Captain America is the cover. He only appears for like 1 issue. He has retired to being Captain America. Yep, he's retired. Oh, he does come back a little later on. And there's other weird stuff happening here. Now, I should point out, though, this book is written by Jonathan Hickman. Yep, Jonathan Hickman, who, here's a fun fact for you, will return to the Ultimate Universe 4 years later. Actually, we're like 3 years later when he did his build-up to Secret Wars. And he does it with the artist from who actually did Secret Wars 4 years after this. Anderson Rubik, who is an excellent artist. I gotta admit, this is actually really good artwork. The cover art here is not done by him. It's done by Kerry Andrews, which this artwork is really good. In case you're curious what the heck was up with this, I don't know. But yeah, this is the interior artwork. This artwork is good. Oh my gosh, this book is so freaking good. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of the artwork for Thor God Thunder. That's what it reminds me of. So, the premise of this is a couple different things going on here. We have the Ultimates supposedly have disbanded since the events of Death of Spider-Man, where you have Nick Fury back being director of S.H.I.E.L.D. because after Ultimate he was removed from director of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he was replaced with Carol Danvers, and then briefly he was replaced by, get this, Gregory Stark. And you're thinking, who the heck is Gregory Stark? Tony Stark's brother. Yes, seriously, it's his brother. And this character was loosely inspired by the Iron Man 2099 character. Yeah. So, mostly put, the Ultimates are comprised at this point in these issues of Thor, Iron Man, Hawkeye, and Spider-Woman. Yes, the Jessica Drew Spider-Woman, who in this universe is a clone. Yes, Bendis created this version. Now, there's stuff with this thing called the City, which was built in a country in Europe, which was destroyed by someone called the Maker, which people don't know nowadays as Reed Richards. At the time this book came out, no one knew it was Reed Richards as the Maker until the end of the first 6 issues. You notice I'm spoiling that because it's been known for like a decade that Reed Richards is the Maker. Well, the Ultimate version in many ways. Yeah, and how he became this was actually explained in a trilogy of miniseries that came out just after Ultimatum. It was a series of 3 miniseries starring Spider-Man, Kitty Pryde, and I think Iceman, it was. It was almost the Ultimate Doom trilogy, involved the return of Dr. Doom. I'm trying to find the name of it here. Oh yeah, it's called the Ultimate Doomsday Trilogy. Yeah, that was responsible for this happening. Yeah, of course those sorts of books basically focus on Fantastic Four and Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Yep, and those three miniseries kind of laid the groundwork for this particular ongoing. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, an ongoing that lasted for about 3 years. Yes, I'm not really sure why Hickman got replaced for. It's particularly quite weird. Uh, Esther Rubik got replaced with issue number 9, though he was basically co-did it with Brandon Pearson for issue 5 and 6. Yep. Now this starts off basically also the year-long story arc that is Jonathan Hickman's run involving the children tomorrow. Yes, who their outfits are based upon the Future Foundation from 616. Captain America is asked to help out with this particular group, deal with them, but he says no. And of course, the president, which they don't say who it is in here, it's heavily it's Obama, because it's came out when Obama was president. That's just, he's president here, but due to stuff related later on, it comes to something else. Also, this historic is basically notorious for the Ultimate Universe, in that, where, with the exception of Thor, his son, yes, Thor has a son, and Hela, all the Asgardians are murdered by the Children Tomorrow. Yes, every single one of them, including people like Odin, the Warriors 3. No mention of Lady Sif in this continuity. They don't really mention it at all, but all the Asgardians all get massacred by the Children Tomorrow in here. Yeah, they kill all of them, including Loki. Yes, Loki gets killed in here. So, and we also have this other guy who's working with like this mysterious individual who think is Clint Barton, but I don't think it's him. Clint Barton is actually back in his regular attire that he was sporting before Advanced Ultimates 3. Yeah, he's back to that look, which I like that look for him for the Ultimate Universe, which they did in fact adapt that for the regular Section Universe. You know, with him wearing the sunglasses and the costume. Yes. Now, one thing that's kind of misleading about this book is Captain America. That's why he's probably here on this first issue, on the first cover. He is not in the first issue, and plus he's not on the team at all. Not until a little bit later on. But for the start of this run, it is really good. I give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Yep. Also, Captain Britain, I should mention him in here, because it was suggested that he was killed off during Ultimatum. And then it's found out, no, he didn't die. He actually survived. He's actually on life support. So he passed the mantle of Captain Britain, of course, this is Brian Braddock, to his brother, James Braddock Jr., who in the 616 universe, he is insane. So a guy who's crazy, in the Prime universe, here is perfectly fine. And he works with the Ultimates. And him and his team who work with Thor to deal with the city. That's what this thing is called, the city. And Thor himself basically loses his hammer. He loses Mjolnir. And he's given a duplicate of his original belt that he was taken away from him back in Ultimates 2. Now, in the case of the stuff with the Asgardians, his son Modi was taken to the World Tree, where he was sort of in a way trapped there mostly, and he was given Mjolnir. He was put in the World Tree just to protect him. But at least Thor was basically being a very decent father, despite the fact, here's the thing, prior to this opening story, the only appearance of Modi, per se, was at the end of Ultimate Comics' New Ultimates. That was his only appearance. And he appears here. And, oh boy, I'll be getting back to him. Don't worry about that. And if you're curious, though, does Thor have any kids in the regular 616 universe? The answer is no. And if you're curious, though, who the heck is the mother of Thor's son? Oh boy, this is something that will shock you. Hela is his mom, is the mother. Hela. Yes, as in the goddess of death, who allegedly is the daughter of Loki. Though in this universe, they don't really bring that up at all. The fact that, if in fact Loki is Hela's father. In the Prime universe, this was mentioned, I believe, in Journey into Mystery when Karen Gillan was in the book. She suggested Loki was never her father. It was just alleged. it was an allegation, but it was never proven. In the Ultimate Universe, there's no mention of them being father and daughter. Nope, no mention. And Modi is, well, mostly the way Loki's nephew. Though, I should point out, though, Hurry, I think his name is, he's actually the, I believe, if I remember correctly, I think this guy's supposed to be the god of war for the Asgardians. I'm surprised the fact that the artist basically drew him like the way he does 616. Yep. So I like the fact they reference Ultimates 2 with the whole thing of like Asgardians being real, and then here, they're gone. Completely gone. Yeah, in case you're curious though, does another writer undo this? Oh no! The Asgardians stay dead for the rest of the publication period of the Ultimate Universe. Yeah, they stay dead. They are never revived. At all. Yep. So yeah, that's it for particular review. Stay tuned for my later on warm-up video today. Now, the good things for that happen this year, I'm saving for tomorrow. But the next video I'm going to do, probably a little bit later, a review of the final episode of World's Greatest Assassin. World's Finest Assassin gets reincarnated in the world. I know it's a final episode because I said Lion's final episode. But we'll talk about that, plus my final thoughts on the season itself. Later on today, we'll do 2 more videos of that, okay? Next video. Bye.